For the past 5 years, I have been falling more and more in love with what has quickly become my all-time favorite genre of video games. Fighting games. It's one of the only genres of games that gives you that incredible feeling of triumph and style every match you play, with its interesting characters, music, gameplay, and community. But before I was a fan of fighting games, I had my eyes on a series of games that quickly took over my entire life. Before I was a fighting game player, I was a Smash player, complete with moderate obesity and terrible hygiene. My love of Nintendo characters and platform games in general meant picking up Smash was only an inevitability. And when I picked up Smash for the Wii U and 3DS, I fell in love all over again. Its movement being the biggest reason for that love. Moving around the stage, dodging projectiles, and landing a crucial hit to start some insanely satisfying combos and amazing feeling kill moves was a constant stream of dopamine. Every match was this back and forth tug of war, with each player finding ways to narrowly avoid death with good neutral and correct directional influence. You didn't win by doing a good enough combo, you predicted everything your opponent was thinking. From teching, to DI, to recovery, it was completely addicting. And the best part of it all, I was good. Every day, I would be dying to fire up my Wii U, jump online, watch YouTube videos and stream footage, and get better and better and better with each passing week. Super Smash Bros. Was my everything. Until it wasn't. The more I got better and the more I ingrained myself in the Smash community in general, the less fun it got to play. As I got better, the people around me stopped wanting to play me. The balance issues of the top tier characters got more and more frustrating, which led to the online community getting even more toxic. But when Smash Ultimate was announced, I had hoped all of these problems would be solved. And while I was riding that hype train, it looked like it would. A lot of the characters that I played actually got very substantial buffs. The content in the game was even more than the previous. Everyone was so excited. And then the game came out. The online was just as terrible, if not worse somehow. The changes to its gameplay left me wandering around to find that feeling I missed in Smash 4. And just as I thought it couldn't get any more terrible, the online community somehow proved me wrong. And with the world shutting down due to the pandemic, I started looking for other fighting games, which led me to finding my new home in the FGC with people I can be happy to call my friends. But that feeling that Smash 4 gave me is a feeling that I've really yet to feel again. Even with so many of my problems with Smash being solved in the latest fighting game titles. And after years of trying so desperately to get back to my platform fighting roots in vain, it became pretty apparent to me. I don't like platform fighters anymore, and I don't think I ever will again. Reshaped my love for platform fighters all over again. After half a decade of disappointment after disappointment, Rivals 2 finally has put platform fighters back on the right track. And this is not an opinion shared by just me. Every single Smash player and content creator has jumped over to Rivals and all unanimously agreed. Rivals 2 is absolutely incredible, which means I can move past the game review nonsense and instead tell the story of how I shook the rust off and returned to my platform fighting game roots with one of my most anticipated games of the decade. Alright, so starting off, we gotta talk about all the previous platform fighters that have come out over the last couple of years. Obviously, Smash set the bar for how every platform fighter should be going forward. And most other platform fighters after Ultimate have two major things going for them: their roster of guest characters, and they have to have some kind of gimmick to them. It's an indie crossover game with Marvel-like assists. It's a WB crossover with some really weird characters and a focus on 2v2 gameplay. It's a Nickelodeon crossover platform fighter for people who are into testicular torture. I don't know. So what's Rivals 2's gimmick? I mean, you can't just be a well-made platform fighter. That's not what people want, clearly. There's gotta be some crazy new idea with each game, otherwise how are you gonna be the new Smash killer? So what's the gimmick for Rivals 2? It's just a fighting game! That's it! That's all it has to be! No crazy guest characters yet. A world and characters that are actually made to make sense and isn't just a bunch of random IPs slapped together. Rivals of Aether 2 is a game made for fans of platform fighting games. And also for furry. And the word fighting is doing a lot of heavy lifting because finally we have a game that acts like a fighting game. One of the biggest problems that Smash has had for its entire life, even going all the way back to the N64, is the identity of it as a more casual fighting game. To my mind, when it comes to multiplayer games, there are two major groups. Games that are made purely for fun, and really who cares who wins, and games strictly made as a competitive win-or-lose sweatfest. And Smash rides that line between the two so hard that it basically just gets dismissed by both parties. The competitive fighting game players only see Smash as some weird fun party game and don't really see it as a fighting game and don't really care about the grind that it takes to actually get very good at this game. And on the other hand, the casual players get extremely frustrated because they always have that one friend who always wins. And I should know, because that kid was me.
Take a fucking shower, bro.
Rivals 2, from what I can tell, does not have this problem. Every character's kit is made for competitive play, meaning there are no dead moves that you'd never use in a tournament, no joke garbage tier characters, or game-breaking top tiers that ruin the fun. Its online mode has ranked as their main game mode. Stages are simplistic in layout and has a stage banning system, as well as a 2 out of 3 rule set for every ranked match. Everything in the game is centered around you and one other player playing matches and climbing the ranked ladder. Rivals is a fighting game, and it is designed and treated as such, and I cannot be happier for that. Dan Fernacci, thank you so fucking much, because this core design choice is something that I have been waiting for in platform fighters for so long, and it piqued my interest enough to actually sit down and pick up the genre after leaving for half a decade. So now I can talk about my experience coming back to platform fighters, and looking at the characters, one character stood out to me pretty quickly. One of the brand new characters to Rival, the Archer Fleet. With my previous experience with weird hybrid zoners in Smash, Fleet's multi-hitting aerials, arrows that can snipe from all the way to the edge of the screen, and her unique float ability straight from the Mushroom Princesses, I was all too ready to give her a try. And then I played her and realized Fleet isn't a hybrid zoner, she's just a zoner. And once I found that out and figured that I actually wanted people to like me, I switched over to the only sword fighter in the game, Clarin, and had much more success. Now I know that Clarin is the most picked character in the game, which is exactly why she's perfect for me. I am not a player that picks up the crazy gimmick characters. I pick up the Shotos in fighting games. Shit, for the past 3 months, my blood has been 73% pumpkin spice flavored. I am a complete basic bitch. And Clarin fits that playstyle perfectly with her unique ability to stun opponents on tipper hits, leading to some insanely satisfying combos and kill confirms. As well as one of the new mechanics to Rivals 2, grabbing. Look, I know that the grab game, as well as ledges, seem like pretty bog standard stuff for platform fighters, but in Rivals, it makes a world of difference. I've played Rivals 1 for a little bit before Rivals 2 came out, and they never had those mechanics, which meant for years, a lot of these characters played completely differently. Now with these new mechanics, it feels like every character got a ton of new sauce, and Clarin is a perfect example. In Rivals 1, her side B was a command grab, which was a 50-50 scenario depending on if you can read the opponent's DI. Since grabs are now universal in Rivals 2, Clarin got a brand new move, which has quickly become a super flashy and pretty vital part of her kit, completely changing her playstyle.
Yeah. What? Dude, remember when I was fucking...
Yo, I'm cold! There hasn't been a major change in this style for platform fighters for as long as I can remember. The only thing I think of was giving Ganondorf his sword, which, I mean, we all know how that turned out. With all of these great new additions to the game mechanics and fundamental shift in game design, I have never had more fun jumping online in a platform fighter. And speaking of online... Yes, Rivals of Aether 2 has rollback netcode. Now, to be fair, Rivals 1 did eventually get rollback in its final major update, but the problem is that word, final major update. By the time Rivals 1 improved its online, the game was at the ass end of its life, meaning it didn't really do much to bring in new players. With Rivals 2, this changed. Now that the game came out with rollback, and with the ranking system the online has, now the game has the space to grow its player base and not leave new players out completely to dry, which has been a major problem with all types of platform fighters. It's all just so goddamn good. Dan Fernacey, I could just fucking kiss you. We finally have a platform fighter that doesn't feel like they think their players are idiots. But there's one more thing that I want to talk about that I find amazing, and we're gonna get into some real nerd talk, because now I want to talk about the game's monetization. Now I know, that sounds real interesting, and I'm sure I just turned your gaming chair into Niagara Falls just by saying that, but hold on, we'll make this quick. On top of being released at full price, a lot of modern fighting games in general are all facing the major problem of supporting the game post-launch, either by adding new characters or making new versions of the game entirely. Meaning that if you want the full experience with the game by having all your characters, it can get extremely expensive. Rivals has taken a very different approach. Not only is the price of the game half that of normal fighting games at $30, the entire game is going to be supported by cosmetics and skins. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to get more content for the game beyond just skins and palette swaps. Rivals 2 will be getting new characters added to the game post-launch absolutely free. This is insane for fighting games. If all you want is the base game with all the characters, all you have to do is pay $30 for the game on Steam. That's it. Now that might still be a bit of money considering that many online games right now are going completely free to play, but for modern fighting games, this kind of makes Rivals 2 one of the cheapest games on the market, and I'm more than happy to buy the extra skins and cosmetics, mainly so I can just help support this incredible game so it can continue to add more amazing content for years to come. And also because I wanted this game.
You won't get in my way.
Step on me. What? Not only are we going to get a brand new character down the line in La Reina, which is a character made exclusively by a member of the community, which is a whole other thing about Rivals that I haven't even talked about, but it's been stated that the Rivals team is planning on adding every single non-guest character from Rivals 1 into Rivals 2, so nobody has to feel left out because their main didn't make the jump.
Danny boy, where's my girl Olympia?
Not to mention the monthly events happening that are also completely free, awarding you with extra currency to buy all the new skins that will be added in the future. All of this amazing content, the way the game feels, its online actually feeling competent, it feels like I'm coming home for the first time in years. I love platform fighters. I love the free-flowing movement in them. I love seeing the flashy combos that you can pull off. I've had to leave this genre behind for so many years, but Rivals finally brought me back. I mean, shit, I'm even starting to watch Smash Ultimate tournaments again. I never thought I would do that. Also, why did nobody tell me one of the best players in the world played Pit? And with Rivals 2 selling over 100,000 copies of the game in its first month, with plenty of extra content to look forward to, I can't believe I can say this, but I can. Platform fighting games are back.